nearly done shaping and carving this guy. I've used both of these ribs to do some of the shaping, to rough it in on the outside. And then I've been using a combination of my finger, well, mostly my finger actually, to get in and smooth the inside. But once it's a little bit drier, I may want to use a brush as well. But before I get too far along here, I need to check my wall thickness. I can see how thick my wall is at the top, and I've actually added a little bit of clay in some of these places to make sure that the rim doesn't get thin. It tends to get nicked as you're carving, and so it tends to thin out. So I've added some clay to make that rim nice. I've still got a little bit of work maybe with a rib or my finger to smooth out the rim or make it look exactly how I want. But like I said, I want to get that measurement of the thickness, the wall thickness. And so I want to remind you how to do this. We're going to put the pin through the wall till it touches my fingertip. And then I'm going to touch my finger. So each finger will be touching a wall. This finger will be touching the outside wall. This fingertip will be touching the inside wall. And then that distance on my needle tool would be good. This is, what I'm showing you here is probably a good distance. That's about 1/4 of an inch. A little thinner would be fine. About here, and I'm going to start to worry that my walls are too thick, which means I need to carve some more. So I can check the outside wall pretty easily using that method. Bring that needle tool out till it touches my fingertip, which it's doing, which you can't see, but it's doing. Then I'm going to hold my needle tool inside, pull that out, and you can see that my wall has a bit of room for me to carve on the outside. Now let's check the inside wall here. And so I'm going to keep my fingertip on the inside over here until the needle tool touches. Hold the needle tool over here, and you can see that my inside wall is thinner than my outside wall. So I don't want to do too much more carving on that inside wall. Now, once you've got a lot of practice, you can feel for that thickness, but the needle tool tip is really helpful until you learn that. One other thing to watch out for, and that is those joins, those places where the wall, so here 2 walls, I mean, we basically have 1 wall. It looks like 2 walls joined together, but it's basically 1. But here in the corner, we've got some extra thickness. I'm guessing if I test this wall thickness here, I'm going to find that it's quite a bit thicker. I'm a little bit surprised, which is why you check. Same thing, kind of maybe down at the bottom. Got to get a place. It's hard to get my angle on this, so I think what I'll do is slide it over to the edge of this board so I can get my needle tool coming up so you can see it until it touches my fingertip, and then pull out. There we go. That part is quite a bit thicker, which makes sense because that part's hard to reach, right? That bottom corner is hard to reach. But remember, if you're trying to fire or if you're trying to not run out of clay, you want to get that clay out of there so it's not too thick, doesn't risk blowing up in the kiln, and or so you can reuse it again. One of the things I might do is flip this guy over. And since my rims are all the same height, I've actually got a really slick, easy way to flip this over. I'm going to take another bat. This is just a board, essentially. You can use a book as long as you don't leave it on there too long because you don't want it to get wet, or a piece of wood or a piece of stiff cardboard. So I'm going to flip them together. So now the bottom's on the top. And now take a look at my bottom. Looks like I got some cleanup to do because it's kind of rough down there. But the good news is it's easy to reach now, and so I'll be able to get in there with my carving tools, if I can hold them, and or my knife. And you can see I've switched clay, so I've got the wrong clay on there. And I'll be able to clean that up a little bit. Not a bad idea for something to do before you finish up.